All right, everybody, for those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, I'm going to ask you all if you can stay off of this raised up stage area. This way, nobody blocks this display behind me, and it gives me a little bit of room to move around, do the whole presentation thing, right? If I could direct your attention to the menu wheel in your lower left, you're going to notice at the very top of this menu wheel is a microphone icon. When that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear what's happening in your environment. So we've gone ahead, we've turned that to red, and that means that you're muted. And just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to, for example, if maybe you had a dog barking in the background, we're not going to face social ruin back to the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking, during its quest time, right? Now, just because you're muted, you can't express yourself. You should be able to use that. You can and should use this pink cheek smiley face. One that's hard to say today. And it opens up your emoji panel in front of you. And if I say something like really deep, really powerful, you feel it right here and it starts building up, right? You can just let it out, let it flow, just like that, right? Maybe I got some, Quest backup dancers, behind the stage there, and they come out, and they break it in. We break it in. It's Quest Time the musical, and you're all very impressed. You can throw up the applause that I live for, like that, right? I can take a moment, drink it all in because it feels good, right? Now you can smile like this to say yes. You can frown like this to say no. If I say something funny, you want to show me you're laughing, you can go like this, and do that silly face emoji to show that you're laughing. And then there's this, right? This is not how you ask a question in here. This is how you're going to let me know that there's a problem. So, for example, if I'm moving my hands around like this and it looks like I'm saying something, looks like I'm talking, and you're like, well, what's going on? He's moving around like he's talking, but no sound's coming out. Then you go like this, hey, Michael Forrest, there's a problem, right? And that's how you let me know. Now, if I see one hand go up like that, I'm probably just going to keep on going, right? But if I see 5 of them going up at one time, I know there's something I need to address. Like maybe the display behind me is caught on fire. Our mods have a sense of humor. Sometimes we give them Terraformer for special effects and stuff like that. And every so often, they, as a prank or something, they'll set the screen on fire, and everybody's like, "Hey, your screen's on fire, right?" So that's a good thing to do with that. All right. Now, before we get going, let me give you an idea of what Quest Time's actually about, right? It's an event for Quest users. So if you're on another device, feel free to hang out because all are welcome. But it's a great place if you're thinking about getting a Quest, or if you just got your Quest. Actually, if you still got those emoji panels open, it's a good time for me to get an idea of how to proceed. Let me see some hearts for anyone that's on a Quest right now. Any Quest users in the audience? Let me see. All right, wow, all right, cool. That's a lot of you. All right, how many of you are new Quest users? How many of let me see some smiley faces if you just got your Quest recently. Any new Questers? Oh, wow, new ones. Okay, cool. How many of you are new to Altspace? New Altspace users? Any chance to welcome you? Oh, wow. Welcome to Altspace. That's a lot of new users. All right, cool. Got my work cut out for me. No worries. All right. So let's jump into it. Listen, when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, I was very focused on, let's see, the slides not working. I was very focused on the slides not working. There we go. I was very focused on getting this left hand because I was on an Oculus Go, so I only had the one controller. And I wasn't feeling like I was expressing myself as fully as I could in Altspace because I was like this all the time with the one hand, right? And everybody's like, oh, he sure moves that one hand around a lot, but I want it to go like this, right? So I was very focused on getting that hand. And then when these controllers arrived, right, took a good look at them and I was like, you know what? These are a lot of buttons. That's a lot to take in, especially if you're new. All right, so I think it helps if we go over some of the stuff, but if you're already, been on the Quest for a while, we're gonna make it like movement exercises that can be a lot of fun, so we're gonna have a good time. But, if you're just starting out and you're getting your bearings, you'll pick up some stuff too, and like, listen, so if you're here today, you already know some basic stuff, like, the left thumbstick's going to move you around like this, the right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles, right? And, if you combine them, you can get these big elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If you all try this, go in these big, circles like this, I'll look out in the audience and it looks like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let me take a look at it. Let me see. Oh yeah, that looks cool. And I always say, I wish you guys could see this because it does look really neat. And now you can actually. We have we're a little bit behind your videos, but if you notice Raven Eye up there floating in the air, that's our YouTube channel, right? So we record these, to go out on YouTube for people who can't make the event, So if you're out there on YouTube watching, you can turn, everybody can wave up to YouTube and tell everybody that, we got Cherry Lime here, we got Greg here, we got William in the blue here, we got James is waving his hand like crazy. James really wants to be Altspace famous. James, go ahead, wave up there on that camera right there, all right. So, you get the idea. So if you're from, what's this? Holograms against reality. Generally, it's rude to open portals in an event. Probably don't want to do that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so, wow, holograms. Okay, now I'm torn. Do I keep going or do I go to holograms? I think I'm going to keep going. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about these controls here, right? First thing I'm going to talk about is this grip button on your right controller, and you also have one on your left controller here. This is going to be how you interact with your environment. So whether it's like, you're grabbing basketballs or fireworks, or maybe, you're in the World Beta program and you're building worlds. You're going to use this grip button to interact with your environment, right? It's how I'm grabbing this laser pointer here and how I'm interacting with it, right? I'm using that grip button. Or maybe I want to switch it to my other hand. I can do that too, right? I'm going to switch them back and forth like that, right? It's kind of cool, especially if you're standing and talking to somebody, you want to kind of fidget and kind of go like that, right? But now when you're grabbing these items, if you're in the world builder, just a quick note, if you're holding an item in the world editor, the behavior of your right thumbstick is going to change, right? It's no longer going to just turn you around. If you move your right thumbstick to the left or to the right while you're holding something in the world editor, that object is going to change its size. It's going to get larger or it's going to get smaller. If you move that thumbstick forward or back, you're going to notice it's going to move the object further away from you, or it's going to pull it closer to you, right? So it's important to keep in mind, right? Also, you have, this left thumbstick doesn't just move you around. It does something else that's pretty cool. When I first got my Quest, right, I came into the campfire and I'm looking around, kind of taking it all in, and I was feeling good, brand new device, awesome, and I was feeling like I was walking on a cloud. And I looked around and I noticed all the avatars were like much shorter than me, and I didn't know why. Right? And I look down and I notice I'm floating this high off the ground, right? And the reason for this is, all right, because on the Quest, you have to change your vertical height. Like I noticed Isaiah's doing it here, right? Isaiah, if you push down your left thumbstick, show everybody what happens. Boom, just like that, right? You saw Freeform T did it too. Now Freeform T went down low like that, boom, press it up, press that left thumbstick, show us what happens. Boom, just like that. So if you're feeling too tall or you're feeling too short, or you're feeling like your vertical height is off, all you have to do is press down on that left thumbstick, right? And it's gonna set you back where you need to be. All right, so now, the other thing you have here is on your, and if you just notice how I teleported on stage just now, right? I reached my hand over my head like this. Now on the Quest, you've got your teleport buttons in your hands at all times, right? You've got this teleport button here, and you got one also right here, right? And the way you can do this is, like, let's say, I'm hoping you're in line dash teleport because it's a real fun way to get around. It feels like you're flinging yourself against the wall, but everybody lines up against this wall here, right? Like this. What we can do is we press down on the teleport button on our right controller and aim at the floor. You're going to see a circle appear on the floor, right? And if you aim right across the room to that other wall across there and let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room, right? Now, you can do this with your left controller, too. So we teleports on over here. We're going to hold down a left teleport button. We're going to aim across the room to the other wall. And as soon as we let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Well, now, what's one cool thing you can do with this, right, is you can actually cross them together and make an X on the floor. And as soon as you let go, you go like a zig and a zag motion, right? Kind of go back and forth. Doesn't always work. You got to get it at the same time. Oh, actually, that jumped me right back on the stage. Look at that. Cool. All right. Another thing you can do is if, like, say you're facing the stage, right, you can go backwards like this. And as you're going backwards, you can kind of point at the floor and kind of do the Altspace moonwalk like this, right? And another cool thing you can do is you can actually teleport backwards by putting your hand over your head and aiming behind you. And as soon as you let go, right, just like that, allows me to get it back up on the stage pretty quickly. All right, and the first time I discovered this, I was at the Universe, right? And they were, doing the whole music stuff. And when it was over, back then it was in a large world, right? So I went up to the edge of the world after it was over exploring, and I'm looking off the edge, right? And I went a little bit too far, and I started to fall. And as I'm falling down, right, I saw this cliff off to my side. And I reached out, and I aimed my controller at it with the teleporter. And as soon as I let go, boom, I was right on a cliff. Right? I was thrown to safety before I could respawn. Right? And what happens there is, what's this? Where are we going here? What's a campfire? Really? I don't really go there too often. Right? Not the best way to get around during an event. You don't want to open those portals during an event because usually moderators will kick you for that. So it's not cool to do. All right. We'll try to warn you. All right. So what happens is, so these controllers, right, there's going to come a point in time where they actually feel like your real hands. You'll still feel the plastic in there, but you're not going to think about what buttons you're pushing. Like if I say, hey, everybody, look out that window. The way I'm pointing out that window right there, I'm not thinking about how I'm doing it, right? I just do it. It becomes a reflex after a while, right? After a few days to a week of using the Quest, you're not going to think about what buttons you're pushing anymore. Like, for example, if I'm holding down the grip button, that's how I'm pointing like this, right? And then I do the other grip button like that. I see a lot of you already know how to do that. That's cool, right? Can kind of go like this. Well, I thought you guys would appreciate that bit and kind of twirl them around like that. Or you can give me maybe a Brooklyn hello like this, right? Maybe give me the Altspace logo. That's cool. I like it when people do that. That's neat. And this guy here, look at that. You got Pontimus. He's doing the picture like this, right? He's going to make this moment last forever, just like that. Now, if you squeeze your trigger fingers, right? Now you got your two thumbs up, or you got your two thumbs down, or maybe you're not sure, right? Or maybe you can put them together like this, right? There's all kinds of different things you can do. If you take your thumbs and you touch the buttons or the thumbstick without pushing down, your thumbs will go down. You can kind of combine it into kind of a cool dance move. One of the first quest times we ever had, somebody came up to the stage and sort of went like this, and I thought that was kind of neat. Now, if you see people doing things that you like, right, the best way to pick it up is to mirror them, right? So just basically, they do something cool that you like, you mirror that gesture. Like Eponymous right now, he's doing this cool dance. He's doing like this with his hands, right? Everybody see that, right? He's doing that, and that's fun. All right, so everybody, let's start doing that. Let's pick it up. Let's get this move down. All right, see, everybody's doing it now. All right, cool. And that's how you pick this stuff. That's how you learn this stuff. All right. Now, while I do know that these are a lot of buttons, one of the cool things is that some of these buttons do the same things, right? So like if you have your left pointer enabled especially, you have this select button, this right trigger, and this select button here on your left controller if your left pointer is enabled. They all do the same thing. So if you hold down your right trigger now and you point around the room, you're going to notice everybody's name tag appears above their head. That's how I know everybody's name so fast. That's how I know that this is William, just below freeform T2 here. You got Athena, you got Isaiah here. Let's see who you got, Katakura. And you get the idea. You just move it around and you'll see everyone's name tag appear, just like that, right? Let's see. Now, another thing that's pretty handy information to have, and you'll see why that's funny in a second, right, is occasionally, listen, if you're having a room scale experience and, you walk out past their main menu, for some reason, that's usually the time somebody in Altspace says, okay, open your main menu, and you're like, where is this thing? And you're looking all over for it. And it's like always behind you, right? You turn around and you're like, oh, there it is, right? You don't have to go through that, all right? On an Oculus Quest, your main menu is in your hands at all times. All you have to do is you'll notice on your left controller, there's a flat button down toward the bottom. It's right here, all right? If you press down on that, your main menu is going to open up, right? I haven't used that blue and white triangle button in months, right? All I do is I just flick my hand out like that. You don't actually have to flick your hand out like that. I just think, it's fun to do. So when I hit the main menu, I flick my hand like that, boom, my menu's open. Boom, my menu's closed, and that's all you need to do, right? So that'll help you out with that. All right, so now let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, almost forgot, this right trigger button here. Now, you're gonna notice occasionally in Altspace, sometimes people are moving at different speeds, right? And actually, right trigger? No, it's the left trigger, I'm sorry. This trigger button right here. You're gonna notice sometimes people move when they're walking, when they're flying, and people are already whipping around. So you get the idea, if you squeeze that down, you're gonna go faster, right? And maybe we can go into a big circle here. Maybe we can make a whirlpool. Maybe we'll make a tornado that thrips the building away. Let's see, I'm gonna get a look, see how our formation is today, because every group's a little bit different. Let's see. Oh, you guys are great, look at that. You're getting the good circle motion going there. Oh, that's awesome. I hope this is showing up on YouTube, man. That looks really cool. You guys are doing a figure eight. That's skill. You guys like some kind of ice cavade show type thing, some kind of ice event there. Are anybody getting dizzy yet? Anybody getting dizzy, raise your hand. All right, you should probably stop. You should probably stop doing that thing, okay? And that was fun, though. You guys were good at that. We're a really good group. All right, let's see what else we have here. Now, every once in a while in Altspace, something's going to go wrong, right? And sometimes things go right, too. Like, say somebody comes in your space and says, dinner's ready, right? And you want to leave Altspace in a hurry? The best way to leave Altspace, whether it's for a good reason or because there's a problem, you're going to see this flat button on your right controller. When you press it, don't press it now because if you all suddenly disappear, I'm going to feel it down deep right here. So you got your hand up there, Isaiah. If there's not a problem, we'll be taking your questions at the end, okay? All right, so we got, when you press that button there, it's a good thing to press when things go wrong, right? For example, let's say I move my head and the entire world moves with me, right? I can move my head and this whole room goes with me. That can make you feel a little bit sick when that happens. Right? Or, maybe like you look up and there's a black void. And then you go, uh-oh, and you look down, there's a black void. Left, right, black void. And everybody, all your friends are frozen like this. They're completely still. You're going to want to press that flat button on your right controller, and that'll get you out, and when you press that, you get a choice to quit or resume. All right? And that's great if you press it on accident. Like maybe you're at the Universe and you're dancing around like this, and all of a sudden you accidentally press the button, right? And oh no, I'm at the Oculus screen. All you do is hit resume. You come right back into Altspace. People won't even know you've left. You just keep dancing like, I hope nobody noticed that. I don't think anyone saw. All right, cool. All right, you saw that? All right, cool. And then you come right back in that way. But it's a good way to, if something goes wrong, you can leave in a hurry. Occasionally, it's not going to work, though. Occasionally, like when your device freezes up, you press that button and nothing happens, you're going to need a way to restart your headset quickly, because that's the next best thing you can do is to restart your device. And a lot of times, people will take the device off to restart their headset. I used to do this too, but then one time my device wasn't in a charge cycle and I had it plugged in, so the light wasn't coming on, and I was pushing the button, and I felt like my device was broken. So ever since then, I always restart my device while it's still on my head, and it's a good skill to have. All right. So especially if you're in a hurry, what you want to do is take your index finger, right, and feel on the side there until you feel the button. When you feel that button there, take your other index finger and push it to the other side and squeeze it together. And as you squeeze it together, look down like you're concentrating, because you're going to, in about 4 seconds, you're going to concentrate so hard, your avatar is going to disappear, right? And then you're going to get plunged into the darkness, but don't let go, right? After about 10 seconds, you're going to start wondering, why did Oculus make it so long, take us so long for it to reset? I don't know. After about 15 seconds, you're going to start thinking about life, you know, nature of things. You're going to start reflecting. 20 seconds go by, you know, start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a long time. You know, you wonder how they're doing, right? And then all of a sudden, you're going to see the Oculus logo emerge from the darkness. And when it starts to pulse, right, what you do is you pull your hands away like that, right, and your device will restart as normally, you know, as it normally does, I should say. And once it restarts, you can, you know, restart Altspace, come in. This is going to solve most of the problems you're going to have. Very occasionally, you might have something a little bit more severe happen. And, you know, so it pays to know about the factory reset option, but be warned, right? You're going to have to re-download all your apps. The good news is you won't have to buy them again. But if something serious happens, like when I came out of Altspace once and I got this notice that said Oculus Room is closing or Oculus Home is closing, and there was a blue OK button pressed, so I pressed OK. And when I pressed OK, you know, the screen just said loading, and this went on for about 2 minutes, so I knew something was wrong. So I did that deep concentration pose, right? And I restarted my device, and as soon as it started up again, it still said loading. Another 2 minutes, I knew something was wrong. I had to do something. So I went and I asked Google about it, and Google said a lot of people were having this problem. The only thing you can do is a factory reset. But be warned, if you have like any pictures or, you know, maybe your Beat Saber scores, all that stuff is going to be lost. It's going to go right back to the way it was the day you got your headset. You won't have to buy your apps again, so that's good news, but it's good to know that you have the option, but use it with caution, all right? And that's going to take care of most of the problems you're going to have on the Quest, because listen, you know, one of the great things about the Quest is, you know, it just works, right? But, you know, oh yeah, one other thing. If you're here today and you're on the Quest, right, and you know you're already familiar with the Guardian system because you know you've done that tour, you've danced with the robot, right? You've played with that blimp thing, that was cool, right? But you know, while you are familiar with your Guardian system, you may not be familiar with how to use your Guardian in Altspace to your advantage. All right, and what I mean by this is, first of all, if you're going to mess with your Guardian system at all right, be very careful. Because a lot of times in Altspace, you'll see somebody walk along and they look like they're having a good day, right? And then all of a sudden, bam, it's like that they hit a wall in the real world. You don't want to hurt yourself, and you don't want to damage your device. You know, your device? That's odd. Your device. You don't want to damage your device. All right. And what'll happen is, so what I find helps, especially if you're just starting out, lead with your hands when you walk around your environment. Just, you know, kind of stick your hands out, right? And when you get close to that edge, you're going to see that net appear in the air in front of you, right? Now, listen, if you get dizzy in VR, if you're just starting out and you get dizzy a lot, one thing you can do is you can look at your hand until the dizziness passes, and then you can slowly take away that hand and take the world in once it passes. But you can also use your Guardian system to do this. So you move around your space with your hands out like this, right? And you get up to the edge and you see that grid appear. And when that grid appears in the air in front of you, what you're going to want to do is you can still move your thumbsticks. So I'm standing there against my real world wall right now, but I'm moving my thumbsticks. I can still move my avatar around. Even though in the real world, I'm standing completely still, right? So what I can do is in Altspace, I can go on up with this display here, right? And I can line up my real world wall here like that. Okay, cool. So now that this is lined up to that, I can walk around. And as I'm walking around, let's say the worst happens. I fall off the stage. Oh no, I'm in the audience now. And the audience turns hostile. You all guys, you know, turn against me, right? You come in, you start sticking your hands in my face, start making me dizzy. Go ahead, just give me the worst you got. All right, you'll notice I'm not even stuttering. I'm not messing up my words, right? Because I can still see that display there, right behind you guys. As long as I can see that display, I'm fine, right? Yeah, I can still see it. It's huge. Have you guys seen how big that screen is? I can still totally see it. That's pretty good. That's almost blocking it. Except I can see it there and there. And as long as I can see that display, all right, I'm connected to the real world. It's serving like an anchor. And it doesn't have to be something big like that. Like maybe you have a table in your space or a desk, and I can line up the edge of the stage with it and make it match. And when I do that, it's kind of like a reality anchor, right? You know, and that can help out a lot if you're getting like a lot of dizziness and stuff like that, right? Another thing you can do is in Altspace, you can transition from a room scale experience to a stationary experience pretty effortlessly. Right? So let's say I'm up here and like, you know, this is my second event today. I'm tired, starting to mess up my words. My voice is starting to go, right? I'm exhausted. What do I do? All right, well, what I can do is I can go up to the edge of my Guardian system, right? I can stick my hands out, make sure I got enough room to move my head through it. And when I move my head through it, all right, the pass-through camera goes off and I can now see the real world, right? I got my coffee right here. I take a sip of that, good stuff. Right? And I see I got my chair right over there. So I'm going over that chair, right? And I turn around and sit in it. And, you know, now I got a blue button saying that when I have a stationary experience. And as soon as I press that blue button, right, I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. And this works in the other direction too, right? Like one time I was moderating an event, right? And I'm there at the event and I feel like getting up and walking around. So I get up and I walk around thinking I'm just going to get up and step right into my Guardian, right? Because I was having a station experience, right? And what happened was, the Quest lost my Guardian. That could sometimes happen, like light level changes in the Quest were that's only 2 minutes left, right? But what do I do? So I'm running out the boundary there, really quick, I'm nervous about it. I'm like, man, of all the times I had to moderate for an admin, of all the times, what do I do? What do I do? And then all of a sudden I close the loop and the grid comes up out of the ground and I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left the event. When you do this kind of thing, all anybody's going to see in Altspace is your avatar suddenly frozen like this. Now I always pause there, and there was actually one time, right, we were doing quest time, and I was paused like this. I was like, your avatar gets frozen, just like this. And I disappeared right off the stage because I lost my internet. And everybody's in the audience, they're looking up, they're like this, wow, he's so committed to the role. Look how invested he is in the character. I just can't believe it. He's just so into it. And then my avatar disappeared. It was pretty funny. I was back in a minute, it came right back. But, it was pretty funny when that happened. All right, so now another thing you can do, and this is pretty useless information, but it's still fun to do. If you go up to the edge of your Guardian system, when you stick your head through, make sure you have enough room to do it, and your pass-through camera goes off, you see the real world, right? What you may not know is if you do this very slowly, there's a sweet spot where you'll be able to see both realities at once. And what's cool is you'll get to see Altspace avatars in your environment, like in the real world. And it gives you a sense of scale of how tall avatars actually are. Like I never realized avatars were so tall. I'd say in the real world, they're about 6 feet tall. They're also kind of wide too. Like they're like big, right? But they're sort of like 6 feet tall and they're kind of like, maybe I'd say like a foot wide, They don't look natural in that way. But you can see them in your home environment by doing that. It's just a lot of fun to do. It's good fun to try. All right. As I said before, the great thing about the Quest is it just works. It doesn't mean it can't work better. All right. There's a lot of accessories that you can get that really enhance the experience. Like the earbuds that they have available for the Quest, they hang down off the side. And I don't know what I look like when I'm in VR. With these hanging down the side, they're like, virtual reality earrings, right? I like to think when I'm wearing this, I look fancy, right? You put these in, and I've been using the Quest for a while when I got mine, and I was used to how great the sound was. I mean, there's no feedback. You could hear everybody really well. But I got these earbuds, and I went to the campfire, and I couldn't believe what I heard. Like, did you guys know there's a breeze in the campfire? Didn't get over that. Another portal? Where we go? Holograms again? That must be a pretty happening game. When the event's over, I'm right, check it out. All right, but yeah. So what you want to do is, so I went down to the campfire, and I went down to that fence there, and I heard water rush. Right? So there's a lot of ambient sounds in Altspace that can really enhance the experience that I never even knew about before. All right, let's see what's going on there. You're shooting yourself in the. Okay, is that bad? We're getting ahead to the questions. If you got a comment or something, William, we can take that in just a second. Okay. Actually, I am running a little bit short on time here, so that's a good point there. You also have these inserts, so if you find that a lot of people think the Quest is uncomfortable. All right, so let me just address this really, first. This is pretty important. All right, because you hear this a lot. I know somebody that returned their device because they thought it was too uncomfortable. When I first got mine, it actually gave me a sore on my forehead. Right. The reality is, Quest they don't advertise this enough. There's a breaking in period. You got to give your time for the oils in your face to actually condition the material. And when that happens, it's going to become a lot more comfortable, and you're not going to feel it anymore. There's going to come a point, just like these become your hands, this will become your eyes. Right? And if after a few weeks after the break-in period, because a lot of people too early, they'll go, I want to get some accessories, a counterbalance weight, or an external battery pack that hangs off the back. You can do all that stuff, but give it a couple of weeks first to break in. All right? Because if you find it too early, you're going to think, it's finally comfortable. And then in a couple of weeks, after it's broken in, the balance is going to change again, and you're going to be like, this thing just isn't comfortable. And it's not true. You just have to let the device break in for a little while first. Okay, to do that. You also have these prescription inserts. Listen, if you want to check out any of these, like this case down here, it'll protect your device because, if something happens to your device, it's not like losing your toaster, right? If you spend a lot of time in VR, you've made friends in here, you're going to feel it. You're going to register it like an actual loss. If you want to try any of this stuff, we have all the links for you. You can go to altvr.com. You go to where it says channels. You're going to see it says Ravenhole Events, like it says on the sound booth up there. And if you go to that event channel, you're going to see on the left-hand side the links to all these products if you want to check any of them out. There's also a join Discord button if you want to help us put on events like this. And there is also the most important button on the internet, the subscribe button, right? We don't get paid to do this. So every time we see that number goes up, it'll go up. It makes us feel good. It's a great way to say thank you if you enjoyed yourself today. And it also lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. So, if you press that, it helps us out a lot. All right. Now, we are going to be taking your questions and your comments, like maybe you tried an accessory I didn't mention, or something like that. Let's make it so you can do that. On your lower right, you're going to notice a raise hand button appear as if by magic. All right. So if you press that raise hand button right there, you get on a list and you take your question or your comment. All right. Let's see. You got anybody? All right. Well, while we're waiting for it to fill out, there we go. We got Isaiah. What's up, Isaiah? Here we go. You're on the air. You should be on the air. I think I got that right. Isaiah, you out there? Where are you? There. Okay.
Yeah.
Isaiah?
I
What's up?
have a question. All
What's
right,
your
so
question?
when you were saying that like people can buy like counterbalances, like when they can help balance out their Oculus Quest,
Yes.
in so when you said that, doesn't they also wait a couple of weeks and then they buy it? If they get used to that and take it off again, will it start being uncomfortable again, even though they had it for a couple of
It
weeks?
depends.
And
There's no real way to answer that question because you're going to find comfort. It's an individual experience. Like some people will think it's too front heavy and they'll get these counterbalance weights and they'll think it's the best thing going, right? But if you do it too early and the balance changes because the device is broken in, then you're going to have to like redo it, reposition it all over again, and you may be left with the opinion that the Quest isn't comfortable, and it actually is very comfortable once it's broken in, right? So,
yeah,
but all that said, if you do wait a couple of weeks and you find it still uncomfortable, that's a good time to look into stuff like that, right? And then if you take it off again, maybe you'll find, it's still, you'll have to see. It's an individual. I can't tell you like what's going to be comfortable for you. That's why like beds and pillows. There's all different types. There's like a firm mattress, a soft mattress. It's that kind of thing. It's an individual experience. Okay. Well,
yeah.
wow, a lot of people on.
Well, I
Zed,
have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is so you said that thing's like your YouTube channel, like that thing's recording it? Like you said you got a YouTube
What
channel?
happens is, we're a few weeks behind on it right now because we're working on another event that's really cool. You guys should watch out for this. It's called Shark Time. It's like a game show where we give away kits and stuff. We've been putting a lot of work into making the special effects work. So it's not a normal set. There's like bridges that move. There's like these tanks that go up and down. There's sharks. There's a lot of sharks.
I want to subscribe.
And they move around. Yeah, so it's good stuff, So check that out. It's going to be coming soon.
What's the
We're a
channel
little
name?
behind in the videos, but you'll see it eventually come up. What you say?
The channel name?
It's right here on the stage. Right
Oh,
here.
it is.
Yeah, YouTube, right there. All right, that's the address there. But you can just do a search for Ravenhole Events or Ravenhole Labs, and you'll see us come up for that. All right, Zed, you're on the air. You got a question or a comment? What's up, Zed? Where you at? Zed, where are you?
Can you hear me?
I'm looking. I can hear you now. What's going on?
Okay, good. Yeah, just a quick question. Is there a way to see our own avatar without having to go into the avatar customization, like move the camera away from our avatar?
There's a couple ways. The best way to do it is through, like you said, the avatar customization. That's like kind of looking in a mirror. But you can also, press the camera button, and that'll take like a selfie, and you'll see a snapshot appear, and you'll be able to access that picture later on altvr.com or by going into your main menu. I think it's under Me, and they'll see gallery there, and then you'll see all your pictures there. But usually the main menu and going to Me will actually act as kind of a mirror. That's a good way to see yourself. Let's see. We got William. William, have a question or a comment? Where are you, William?
Over here.
Where'd you go? Hey, William, what's going on?
Can you organize your own events?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Making events in Altspace is super easy to do, and how much you want to develop it's totally up to you. Like if you just want to have like an organized hangout with your friends, you can do that. You might want to check out AltspaceVR 101 where they teach you how to do some of this stuff. And they'll go over through event creation. And if you have an idea for an event, you can always email Altspace Events with a capital A and a capital E at Microsoft.com and say, hey, I got this great idea for an event. I want to have an event about virtual bricks. It's going to be the best event ever. Like hundreds of people are going to come. We're going to talk about red brick, orange bricks, blue bricks. There's going to be all kinds of bricks. And we're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. People are going to love it. There are going to be thousands of emojis going up when I start talking about bricks. And then they'll write back to you, be like, that's a neat idea. Here's what you do. And they'll give you like instructions and help get you started there. All right, let's see. We got this dude. What's up, this dude? That's just fun to say. Where are you? This dude, where are you?
Hello.
Here.
Here. How do you is there a way to fix it to where when you move, it doesn't blur up?
Oh yeah, I can't stand that. The blinders, that's annoying, right? What you want to do, and do it with me. Anyone else that's suffering from those blinders, or do this too. All right, you open up your main menu. That's that blue and white triangle button. You press on that, right? Or you press the flat button on your left controller. As a Quest user, you can do that. All right, so you press that, and you're going to see there's a settings cogwheel on the lower right. When you press on that settings cogwheel, you're going to have, let's see, comfort is the second option down. At the very top of that center panel, it now says blinders. Switch that to off, right? And then hit close in the lower right. That's the extra circle around it. And then walk forward and tell me what you see. Huh? How's that?
It works, yeah.
We fixed it? All right, we're
Yeah,
changing
it's
lines
nice.
here. All right, listen. At the end of our events, we take everybody flying. If I haven't called on you and you have a question or a comment you still want to ask, come with us to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. The way we're going to do this, right, the way we leave our events is I'm going to press this big red button, right? And when I press this big red button, you're going to see a ship. It's a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft fly down the street, right? And you'll get a chance to fly these. At the Ravenhall Flight Academy, you can fly these things around. And you sort of fly down the street. It's going to go up over the trees, and it's going to land in that backyard area out there. So everybody, look out that window right now while I press that button and watch what happens.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
All right, everybody, it's going down the block now. Let's catch it. Let's get going, everybody. Let's go catch it. All right, everybody's going to go through here. We're going to put it back. We're going to have it come down. All right, now if you've learned anything today, please share with everyone you come in contact with. Right, so if somebody's at the campfire and they're real low in the ground, they go, and you go, what's wrong? And they go, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck in the ground. All you have to do is tell them to press down on the left thumbstick. They'll pop up
Talon
and they'll feel better.
aircraft is
They'll
now
feel better.
boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light.
Now we
Thank
keep
you.
this thing going. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you next time. Come with us to the Academy if you like. If you have any more questions or anything like that, I'll take them there. See you there.